What's going on? I'm sitting out here down the road at a neighbor's house, and want to talk about I mentioned this the other day, demonized manchurians. I said like you were being attacked by a group of demonized manchurians. Well, let me give you an example of what a demonized manchurian looks like. Well, a Manchurian, a good example of a Manchurian is, you need to watch that movie, The Bourne Identity. There you go. There's a perfect example of a Manchurian. And now, if you want to see what a perfect example of demonization is, on the other hand, there's a guy in Africa, and his name is General Butt Naked. And he said he was taken by this voodoo priest, and he was instructed how to become invincible by a fallen angel under a rock in a pit in the earth for like 17 days or something like that. He said he was down there being instructed by entities, and basically this entity was like, he taught him a formula for invincibility, but he had to eat people and murder innocent babies. And Russ Dizdar makes a book called The Black Awakening, and he talks about this the intentional weaponization of the Manchurianization, that's like through trauma-based mind control and microchips and chemicals and stuff that they can put in people's brains and bodies, and they can control them through remote control, or it can be through complex trauma-based psychoanalysis and psychological driving, and trying to fracture the dang the person's mind, and it's supposedly they did this to a bunch of secretaries back in the day, and they were just basically note carriers. And this is I've even seen this disclosed on regular television. And you hear a lot of actors, man, flip out and say that they were actors or comedians, entertainers. They flip out and say, "Oh, I'm a undercover CIA agent or whatever." And then, they look all crazy and shit, but they really do shit like this. You can watch that movie by Ben Affleck where they do something in Iran. I can't remember what the name of it is, but it's an American Sniper and Zero Dark 30. These are all examples of that the military works with the public. You know what I'm saying? To disclose and leak certain topics and subject matter. It was like, I heard that the dudes that made Call of Duty Black Ops 2 got court-martialed and threatened with imprisonment because they dropped too much realistic information about drones and different tactical things that they can do, that they actually put it in the game. And then the game's got this zombie apocalypse type scenario game, like this sub game, and it's all in the 50s, like in a 50s theme, with all this crazy 50s music, these themes when they were experimenting with the bombs in the beginning, the atomic bomb. And it's just weird, man, especially with all this time traveler stuff and all the connections, how they keep putting it in games, they put it in shows. I'm seeing it encoded in all kinds of things. And like I was even saying, the connections to the old they're mathematical books, man. You know what I'm saying? They're in Greece. You got that Pragathis. That's definitely a mathematical code book. But the Yi Jing over there in China also is working on the same philosophy. And similar, but I don't know how related they are, is the Mayan, that double wheel calendar. You know what I'm saying? Or triple wheel calendar even. Like gears in some kind of, like truly gears in the sands of time, kind of. It seems like that some of these things really are. It's weird. But yeah, man, demonized Manchurians. The Hitler and them, they was trying to make demonized Manchurians over there in the in Nazi time, and then basically Operation Paperclip got the people who's trying to do this. In another video called Vietnam Weed that I made, I was talking about how Joseph Mengele was giving everyone crystal meth shots, intravenous shots, but he just said it was vitamins. And I mean, that's the chemical example of making someone more apt to attack, psychotic, more open to suggestion, more broken down mentally, because it's like they're not in their regular state of mind. So that's, you can utilize that, to get a desired effect. And you can see that in the kamikaze style fighters, in World War II from Japan. So the stuff's out here, the demonized manchurians. And then here's another, it's not totally related, but it's similar. It's this where the Yorkie National Forest, where they're trying to hybrid man and chimpanzee. Supposedly they were successful, and they got like a population of these things that they feed livers from sheep that have human organs grown in them through cloning and genetic modification. Seeing this on Jesse Ventura, yeah, I think it was called Human Z, but it's creepy, man. So, and then there's other ways where you got the chemical slash metaphysical superstitious way. You could look into Caribbean. The serpent in the rainbow is a good example of that. Was that just a way of Shanghaiing people, where you spray them with this chemical, they're in this kind of chemically induced coma, and you can, until you give them the antidote, you know what I'm saying, they're kind of at your mercy. So in a way they become your slave, and then if you show someone your slave, your voodoo slave, you would have this mystical power and psychological fear over all these other people. But on the other hand, is it true? I was thinking today, I think I heard the time traveler say basically they go and bump people of their soul and they steal bodies. And then I was thinking about this today, man, how many things this would explain. Why do people get murked off? You know what I'm saying? It's maybe sometimes it's like soul displacement. I think I seen a movie back in the day. I can't remember what. I think it's called like Father Like Son, where the father and son drank these chemicals and they switched souls, and they learned this from some Southwest Indians or some native tribe. It's pretty crazy, man, all this stuff. But the chemicals, the occult, and the deep psychology techniques, like dipping people in water, all the old school insane asylum, that's where they learned a lot of these techniques. The whole lobotomization, the shock treatment, dumping people in cold water, just like making them shut down. And they're the people really who learn this stuff. Like I realized there's always been an underworld connection between doctors trying to get a hold of specimens, bodies. Shanghai would work equally well for a person who needs subjects, as well as a person who needs, workers on a plantation, or whores for a brothel. They need people that no one cares about, or dead bodies. You know what I'm saying? So they can, test their weapons or in their stuff. You know what I'm saying, on cadavers. So there was always, you could steal cadavers. Even today, I heard, in these third world countries, when there's disasters, they send in teams to go swoop up the bodies and put them on ice, and then they sell the bodies directly to China through but I heard it's a mafia out of Israel that is doing it. It seems these days they put everything on Israel. So you know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's just I'm sure a lot of that is propaganda and slander and just dirty tactics, like reverse McCarthyism. So, just because I hear something and it sounds tangible doesn't mean I totally take it and run with it. But I also heard the drug cartels are doing this similar thing, this whole human trafficking, where they don't need you. It's fine if you're dead. They just need your body parts, and they can sell them for a high dollar. There's certain rich, crazy people on this planet that will buy your body to eat it. You know what I'm saying? Or things like, or buy a vat of blood for sex ritual, sex magic ritual. I mean, I know these things sound fucking insane and like, oh yeah, okay, but no, dude, this stuff really goes on. It's always been going on. I mean, it's just been, it was on the low. There was less people into it, but as things get worse and worse, more people kind of explore new things, and it leads to darker places. I mean, I've even found myself in some weird situations, not like that, but I'm just saying weirder situations that I ever expected to. You know what I'm saying? Just by accident, because you meet people, you never know what someone's into. You know what I'm saying? Until they reveal to you what they're into. You know what I'm saying? And you might not expect it or be ready for it or understand how to take it at first. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, there's all kinds of craziness out here. So it's best just to be aware of it. I mean, steer clear of that craziness. You know, if you can. I mean, just because if you start off just a little, it could be all fun and playfulness. End up somewhere totally in psycho territory, demonized manchurians territory.